Hey everyone, how things going? Hope you guys are still staying safe and careful during this time of COVID. So today I want to share with you this concept of fire. And no, it's not about setting things on fire, unless you set your life and freedom on fire. Well, anyway, um, the concept of fire, it stands for, it's a movement called financial independence and retire early. It means that it means to retire as early as possible without ever worrying about money again. Okay, that's a simple concept. And it's basically a pure numbers game. So the way to achieve it is basically 25 times of your annual spending. Okay, so this means that if you spend 25,000 a year, you take 25,000 times 25. And that means you need 625,000 to fire, to retire early without worrying about money again. And people use this concept because they use it based on a 4% withdrawal rate. So basically, as 625,000, if you draw 4% a year, it can last you until you go on, right? Usually, I take 625,000. If I that's for me, I'll take 625,000, put it into an investment account where I can get about 4%. And so that my capital is preserved and I live off the dividends or the interest. Okay. So before I talk about the how, which I'll cover briefly in this video, the more important thing to talk about is the why, you know? So the concept of fire is simple to understand, the how is simpler to understand, but most importantly is the why, you know? The most important reason of why you and me need to retire early without worrying about money ever again is for time freedom, okay? And why I put time freedom as the most important aspect of retiring early and financial independence because we have finite time, we have limited time. And say, for example, right, typically men and women, average lifespan, they pass on typically between 75 to 85, maybe 90, okay? Women usually live longer than men, but for simplicity in this video, let's just call it 80 years old. So I'm 40 this year, 39 to be exact. That gives me another 40 more years. And I'm not going to work until I'm 60, 65, 70 before I retire. And then have from 70 to 80 years old, play and retire during for the 10 years. That doesn't cut it for me. And I hope it doesn't cut it for you as well. My goal is to retire by 45, right? So I have a good another 35 years to chillax with my wife, watch my kids grow up and grow older with them, guide them throughout life to pursue things that are interesting to me, right? So time freedom is the main reason why I'm really big into FIRE, financial independence, retiring early, okay? And with this time freedom, you can pursue things that interest you. There are people who, once they achieve their financial independence and they are retired, they pick up something that they always want to pick up. It could be art, it could be picking up law, it could be picking up medicine, things that they couldn't do when they were younger or when they have the money. So they can pick up things that interest them. They can go get involved with philanthropy. They can volunteer, right? So these are things that people who have retired can do. Number two, you spend time on things and people you care about. So that's where I fall into. So I really like my wife. I really love my wife. So I want to spend more time with her. I love my kids. I love my family. I love my friends. All right. So I want to spend more time with them. Okay, so I found to get that category of I want to spend more time with people and things that I care about. Um, Serendipity means that if you are retired and money is not a concern, sometimes things happen in your life that you can pursue or not. So I call this serendipity moments or rabbit hole moments. It could be meeting a potential spouse. It could be embarking or chancing upon a project that you are very interested in. It could be possibly even moving to another country if there's opportunity that arise coming from the company that you hire you or something like that, right? So it opens up opportunities for serendipities. And I feel that life is full of serendipity moments that you choose to take or not take, right? And lastly, of course, overall is for the pursuit of happiness. I again, I go back to the statement and the question that does it really make sense for us to be work bound to a job or business until the day we die, until we're 70, until we're 60? Maybe if the job or the business is really, really meaningful, sure. Maybe if there's a lot of relationships involved, or maybe the family business that I really enjoy and adds a lot of value to the world, yes, maybe I can imagine that. But what fire basically does on top of time freedom, giving you more opportunities to pursue things that interest you, want to do things that you love and care about, pursuing serendipity moments and happiness. In a nutshell, it's about having the flexibility and the freedom to choose what you want, and that's really important to me. So I want you to consider this concept of fire to retire as early as possible and do not worry about money again. Okay, these numbers over here are more conservative. Is quite lean. Okay, and how you can go about it over here. So you realize this is calculated based on how much spending you need. So the how is basically on a very, very broad perspective, right? You either need to earn more and or spend less. So you got to choose. You can do both. So earning more, I took the path of earning more, right? So I'm a hand therapist. So I decided to start a hand therapy practice with my wife, who's a physiotherapist, and we decided to earn more that way, right? So at the same time, we are fairly minimalistic. We're not that crazy frugal. We are minimalists. You don't see us going around spending a lot of money on things that we don't care about. Okay. But if my shoes are worn out, I'll buy 200 bucks, 300 bucks a pair of shoes, and it's fine. Because I'm going to be standing on my feet the whole day anyway, right? When I go about. Right. So that's for me. I decided to earn more because that would accelerate my fire goals. Okay, and also by being minimalist, we can actually retire early. The only reason why we continue to work more because not only because we have just investors, but also I find the work very meaningful right now. Serving people, helping our therapists earn six figures a year, and growing the business more locally and later regionally is very meaningful and fun for me right now. So that's why we're still doing that anyway. Also, don't forget, my fire target as a single won't be 625,000. It'd be much less. It'd probably be half of that. I probably can retire with 325,000. 300,000 actually. If 4% return, 12,000 a year, 1,000 a month, yeah, I can move to another country and I live off 1,000 a month. My numbers change because I am married with a spouse, with kids, So my numbers will have to grow up a bit more. So it depends whether you're single or you have a partner or a spouse, you have kids. So like I said earlier, this 25x annual spending, it really depends on how much you earn, how much you spend, okay, how much is your cost of living in where you are, right? The fastest way to accelerate is to earn more because there's only so much you can cut. If you typically spend 5,000 a month, okay, that's a lot. If you spend 5,000 a month, you can cut at most 3,000 off. But if you can earn a lot more, it goes up a lot more. So some people like to earn more, some people like to spend less, some people like to do both. So I leave that to you. But I started this video to introduce and speak about this concept of retiring early, financially independent. So let me know what do you think about this idea. Let me know what's your main idea, why you would pursue financial independence and retiring early. Is it because you want to spend more time with your spouse, like me? Or you want to pursue a law degree, a medicine degree, or you want to paint, you have an interest in painting, or you want to move to another country, let me know. I'd be so stoked to find out and just talk to you and communicate with you, Let me know what you think. We talk down below in the comments, or you can just send a message to me. I'd be looking forward to hearing from you. Take care. See you. Bye.